Hello everyone, this is John from RPGs and More, and in this session we are going to look at the character that I made for the Knave solo RPG, or the game I'm running using Knave that I'm going to run solo. Now, I've done a few things here that I didn't talk about in my previous video. One, for leveling up, I am borrowing the system used in Swords and Wizardry Continual Light, where you count the number of sessions that you have finished. And when you complete a certain number of sessions, you level up. Period. As you can see, I've already completed one session with this character. So if I complete my second session, then this character will level up to level 2. So what is this character? Well, I randomly rolled pretty much everything on this character. The character is Aldim Bimford. Aldim Bimford of neutral alignment. He's a level 1. I'm going to change that 0 to a 1 soon. He has 2 hit points, an armor class of 11, and a +1 to his armor bonus. So really, the +1 is all I'm going to need for that, because I'm doing all the rolls player facing, and that +1 comes from his dexterity for dodging. Now, is a strength of 12, dexterity of 11, con of 11, intelligence of 13, wisdom of 12, and charisma of 12. So he's relatively weak in most places physically, but he's got a brain on his shoulders, and he's got some charm and some wits about him. His physique is gaunt, his face is pinched, his skin is pale, his hair is oily, his clothes are undersized, his virtue is honorable, his vice is that he's bitter, his speech tends to be precise. His background is that of a student, and his misfortune is that he is poor. These are all things that you roll in Knave for. He only has 11 slots in his item list, and those are taken up by a dagger, 10 pieces of chalk, a chisel, a bucket, soap, and 2 days worth of rations. These were all randomly rolled. And here you can see I recorded the rolls. Rolled a 2 for the armor, which means none. Rolled a 3 for the shield and helmet, which means none. But 5 got me the chalk, 9 got me the chisel, 7 got me the bucket, and then again 7 got me the soap. Then rations. Everyone starts with 2 days of rations and a weapon. Given everything else, I figured a dagger was appropriate, although I waited until after I had rolled the rest of these and gone through his background before I decided on what weapon he would start with. So let's look at stuff. So his background is that of a student, 19. His misfortune is 15, that he's poor. What is he studying? On the Oracle in Solo Knave, I rolled a 4, 3, and a 4, which means that he is studying truce, the law, safely. So that tells me that he is studying to be a lawyer. He's working hard to understand the law and be able to navigate it safely. Why did he leave his studies? Rolled a 5, an 8, and a 1. Getting dominate the people boldly. So he got kicked out for not being wealthy. His money ran out, and a new headmaster who wants to keep the school only for the wealthy and nobles canceled all of the financial aid programs that the previous administration had put in place. So as a result, Aldim found himself on the street without an education. What is his adventuring goal? I got a 13, a 4, and a 3. Spy success happily. I kind of translated that to be, he thinks that if he can get some dirt on the new headmaster, he can persuade, blackmail, but persuade because he's honorable, so he wouldn't think of it as blackmail, the school to replace the headmaster and bring back the old programs. Then I took the tavern trawling set and I rolled on it to figure out the starting quest. A 6 gives us a mysterious stranger, 14 representing an embassy, 13 representing item recovery, 14 for the reward is 1d6 times 10 copper pieces, and then the complication is it's a pack of lies. A mysterious, cloaked stranger approached Aldem in the tavern after he had been grumbling about his lot in life. The stranger said that the servant of the new headmaster had stolen a brooch from her. If Aldem could steal it back, she would pay him 40 copper pennies. It would fill his purse and strike a blow against the one who wronged him. Aldem accepts the job. The brooch is described as being bronze with red crystals and has a shield design upon it, so he knows what it will look like. The date is November 14th. It's a Sunday. After spending his last pennies on lodging, the hungry Aldem sets out to find the servant. He makes a wisdom roll, getting a 7, or a wisdom test. He gets a 5 plus 2 from his wisdom equals 7. Target number is 10, so 10 minus 7 equals 3, which is how many hours it takes to find the servant. It is now 11 o'clock a.m. The weather is cloudy and cold. That's a chart for the weather. I haven't fully written out the chart. It's mostly in my head. So I'll write it out at some point. What is the servant doing? 15, 4, and 1. Refuse success boldly. The servant has been telling the owner of an orphanage that their rent is going up. Is this legal? Unlikely. I rolled an 11 and a 7. We take the lowest result. No, but the nobility get away with it. All right, so clearly there's a class problem in this city. All right. Is the servant wearing the brooch? Likely. I rolled a 13 and a 10. Yes, but she has a bodyguard with her. Now, this is the moment where I'm going to take a little aside here. I am placing this game in a setting that I have created for some fiction books that I have written, some fantasy stories that I have written, called the Gerard and Lyessa series. This is the same location that I used in the initial Swords and Wizardry Continual Light videos. So they are in this city of Hassenberg in the Wildlands. Okay, that just to give us that piece of context. There is a name for the city. All right. Aldem looks around for a way to distract the guard. Well, let's take a look at where we are, okay? Ta-da! I spent some time and drew out this location on my board, on my pad here. And what I also did is, when I created this location, I did so using die rolls and making use of the Create a Settlement tables in the 5th edition Dungeon Master's Guide. And that kind of gives you an idea of what types of buildings are around you and things like that. I used those so that I could have something a little more random, but at the same time, not overtax my own imagination and have fun with it. So what we get is, this is a residential place. Here's the orphanage. And we're going to put this here to represent the servant and her bodyguard. And then next to the orphanage, there's a rope maker's shop. And that's where these long strands are. That's where the various strands are being twisted together slowly over time and left to, left to solidify into solid rope. On the other side, These are middle-class homes. These were randomly rolled, and I randomly rolled the same thing 3 times. I thought that was pretty fascinating. And then this building and this building are considered tenements, or tenement apartments. So this is a part of town that's kind of, it's a part of Hassenberg that is it's sort of bridging the gap between the middle class and the lower class. I would say that, there's probably these homes are either an attempt at gentrification, or they were here before, and these tenement buildings have been built recently because they just need more housing. And then this is a giant warehouse. I'm thinking that it's partially owned by the rope maker, and the space is rented out to other people that need space for things besides just rope. So Aldem is about here. Each square is worth about 5 feet. Okay? Now, Aldem casts about for a rock or a tomato. The bodyguard... Oh, sorry. Aldem looks around for a way to distract the guard. A wisdom roll. Target number is 15. All rolls have a target of 15. Roll a 1 plus a 1 equals 2, but that's still a critical fail. Criticals don't exist here outside of combat, so I'm not going to make it too bad, but it does mean it's a fail. He does not find a rock. But not only does he fail it, but it's a no but. Alden casts about for rock or tomato. The bodyguard spots him. Hey, you! Clear off, you vagrant! Alden attempts to double down on his appearance. He holds up his bucket and tries to approach. Alms! Alms for the poor! He's making a charisma attempt to actually look like a vagrant. His charisma, he makes a roll. He gets an 11. Plus 2 equals 13. Still a fail. Pretty good. Above average, but still not quite enough. I'm ruling that as he succeeded in being in them thinking that he's a vagrant or a beggar, because they already think that anyway. But they don't let him get close. So I rolled for the bodyguard's reaction and got an 8, which means the bodyguard's unsure about him. He's pretty neutral. So he just keeps on, clear off, no alms here. The bodyguard steps between the servant and Alden. Teach him a lesson. The servant looks bored, and she starts walking away. She is heading towards the rope maker's yard. So, as this is all happening, she starts moving this way. Let's say that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Everyone can move roughly 40 feet per round in this game, unless they have a reason not to. Okay. Alden moves back, looking warily at the bodyguard's truncheon, or cudgel. He retreats down the alley between the house and the tenement building. So he's going to jump back 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Except he's going to keep on going. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Basically making 2 moves. All right. And I actually did my time tracker wrong at this point. I was counting 10-minute rounds. I should have been counting... 10-minute turns. I should have been counting in rounds. My bad. So that's been... it took 2 rounds to get to this point. All right. Alden will try to edge down the other alley to get to the drop on the servant. Okay. She's not moving at a particularly fast speed. She's feeling very comfortable. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Bodyguards with her. They're strolling down the street. They're not looking for trouble. And then he's going to spend this round 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Okay. So there's roughly about 15 feet between them, 15 to 20 feet. Anyway. Will she visit the rope makers? I rolled a 1. No, and she is quickly walking down the street. So at this point, she started to pick up her pace. Maybe she's got an appointment. And she probably doesn't want to be around. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention something. Let's see. I did a roll. So, is this legal? Whatever she's doing, raising the rent was what I came up with at first, but I might be changing that. Unlikely that it's legal. 11 and a 7. That means that no. But I did talk about that. No ability to get away with it. So she's doing something illegal. She knows that. She probably doesn't want to be around in the area any longer than she has to. Elaine will try to move up behind her without being seen. Is the street busy? Likely. 6 and 7. No, but they aren't paying attention anymore. Okay. So it's still a pretty bare place. This got moved a little bit. It's not too busy, but they're not paying that much attention now that they've cleared someone who looked like a beggar to them away. So Alden will try to move up behind her without being seen. 20 minutes have not passed, more like 30 seconds at this point. Anyway. Alden will charge forward and try to strike the servant. He rolled a 4 plus 2 for his strength equals a total of 6. So surprise round. He runs up. And he strikes the servant with his fist, actually. He's going to just run up and try to just punch her in the back of the head, maybe. But it misses badly. She turns her head. She turns her head. Oh, no! Anyway, now we go for initiative rolls. Initiative, I rolled a 5, which means that Elaine goes first. If I'd rolled a 1 through 3, the others would have gone first. 5, Elaine goes first. He tries to grab the brooch and run. Dexterity, I rolled a 5. Plus 1 equals a total of 6. That's a fail. He reaches out, grabs at the brooch, misses his grab, and then moves 40 feet west until he's back in front of the rope makers. So he's now going to run 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. After him, she shouts, clutching at her brooch. The bodyguard chases Alden and tries to strike with his truncheon. Alden rolls his defense. Target number is 11. The bodyguard has 1 hit die. So has a, basically target number is 10 plus 1. So it's 11. He rolls a 17. Plus 1 is 18. So Alden manages to... He dodges out of the way. We go into the second round. So Alden dodges the club and draws his dagger. Nothing personal, Alden says. For the second round, initiative. Alden rolls a 5. He goes first. Alden strikes with his dagger, rolling a 7 plus 2 equals 9. The bodyguard twists away from the thrust and swings in retaliation. Target number 11. Alden rolls a 12. Alden manages to deflect the club with his dagger. Initiative is 3. The bodyguard goes first. Bodyguard strikes at Alden. Alden has a target number of 11 to roll. He rolls a 1. So that means because he has a critical fail in combat, the bodyguard gets to roll 2d6 for damage. In this case, the bodyguard rolled 2 plus 1 equals 3. Alden, if you remember, has 2 hit points. Alden is now at 0 hit points and falls unconscious. And that is the end of this first encounter. So let's do some figuring out of what comes next. Will the servant turn him in? Likely. I rolled a 4 and a 12, which got me a yes, but. So she turns him in, but not for the crime that he attempted to commit. What does she accuse him of? I rolled a 3, a 7, and a 3, which got gratify magic happily. So he is accused of using magic without a license. Why does she lie? I got a 9, a 3, and then a 4. Release the law safely. She doesn't want the constables to know what she was doing or look too deeply into her actions that morning. So, he wakes up the next day in jail. And that's the end of session 1. NPCs that we have encountered, there's the headmaster. We just know about the headmaster. There's the headmaster's servant. We gave her a name, by the way. She's now Melina. And then there's the bodyguard. The plot so far, the headmaster's servant, Melina, is doing something illegal with the orphanage. And she has the stolen brooch. And that is the end of session 1. At this point in time, Aldim has earned his first experience point, or his first session point, and he has to complete one more session before he can go up to the grand auspices of level 2. I hope you enjoyed today's session. I did this a little bit differently than I normally do. Just wanted to have a little bit more fun with it, maybe, and not have it be as stressful and high octane as I've done before. I've been largely inspired by the Solo Dungeon Crawler channel here on YouTube and how that gentleman handles his sessions. So I hope that this was an appropriate homage to his skill. Or an appropriate respect to his skill. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, please feel free to give me a like in this video, maybe subscribe to the channel, and tell me about your thoughts in the comments below. If you did not enjoy this, also please let me know in the comments what you liked, what you didn't like, and what I could do better next time. As always, thank you for stopping by, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace be with you. Bye-bye.